Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Joe Clare, the conservative pothead, here to do a little marijuana news. I'm not gonna go, do a blog post on every story or whatever. So let's do a little wrap up, a little end of the day wrap up for the marijuana news of the day. First story comes from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, which was the hometown of my stepdad. It says a Pennsylvania man was digging pot plant at arrest. Let me turn this down. That might have been a little too loud. I don't know. But it was getting on my nerves. So, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Said police jailed a Western Pennsylvania man who was allegedly digging up a marijuana plant in his yard as officers arrived to arrest him on unrelated theft charges. John Belch Jr., 23, is in the Cambria County Jail. Johnstown police went to Belch's home to arrest him Wednesday on charges that he stole nearly $2,700 from a woman's bank account by using her identity to make 32 withdrawals. Police said he also sold more than $12,000 of her jewelry and computer equipment. Wow, what a dick. But they also got him. So that's when police saw Belch standing next to a freshly dug hole and holding the plant, which they charged him with possessing. Yeah, he deserved to go to jail. Not for marijuana plant, just being a dickhead, thieving little bastard. Uh, let's go down here a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard about this story. I'll link to it. I think on Stoner Nation blog. I forget. I don't know where I'd link to it at. Police say a man tried to pay for gas with pot. Frederick County, Maryland sheriff deputies have arrested a man after he allegedly offered store clerks in the New Market marijuana to pay for gasoline. It happened Monday about 3 p.m. at the Classic Fuels store on Old National Pike. Deputies said a 52-year-old man offered marijuana to pay for gasoline, and a clerk in the store called the authorities. What an asshole. Dude's just trying to get some gas, man. And you called the cops on him? He could have sold that marijuana. He was also charged with possession of cocaine, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia. So he had other shit on him. That's not really that smart, is it? To try to, when you got coke and shit on you, to try to sell marijuana. But he needed gas, so what are you going to do? California, Bakersfield. The Kern County Sheriff's Office seized a rifle, $241,000 in cash, marijuana, and two people were arrested. On Friday around 10 a.m., excuse me, I'm high and I've been smoking and I'm getting over a cold. Another cold. Right about a week after I had the fucking flu, man. So now I'm broadcasting with, just getting over this cold. Deputies assigned to Sheriff's Ridgecrest substation were dispatched to 1131 North Alfred Street, Ridgecrest, for reports of subjects cultivating marijuana. Deputies said they went to the residence and conducted a probation search. Deputies seized a loaded M1 carbine .30 caliber rifle and numerous marijuana plants. Deputies said they located marijuana, chemicals used for cultivating marijuana, and other equipment related to the cultivation of marijuana throughout the residence in the living room, dining room, kitchen, and child's room. The street value of the marijuana seized was estimated at $241,000. Okay, it wasn't cash, it was marijuana. Wow, that's a lot of marijuana. And that does suck. Let's go check some more stories. Let's see what this is. USI Director of Counseling charged in marijuana case. USI Director of Counseling James Browning, 66, was formally charged in Vanderburgh County Superior Court Tuesday after police found 73 marijuana plants on his property last week and marijuana inside of his university office. Police estimated the value of the marijuana at more than $40,000. Browning and his wife, a director of local child care facility, were arrested at their home, and they say where it was located. Why do I care where it was located? Browning has been employed at USI since September 1987. Tuesday morning, he was charged with possession of marijuana, dealing in marijuana, and maintaining a common nuisance. All Class D felonies, as well as possession of paraphernalia, and Class A misdemeanor. He entered a preliminary plea of not guilty. Just bust after bust after bust. Another pot bust collects $5.9 million in marijuana. It was also, that's the same story from Kern County Sheriff's Office. Why is it 5.9 million there, and the other story said 241,000? Maybe it is two different stories. Yeah, it is two different stories. It's two different times of the day on today, Friday. Um, Around 7 a.m. Friday, deputies of the Kern County Sheriff's Office Major Violators Unit, with assistance of officers from the Campaigning Against Marijuana Planting, located a marijuana grow on U.S. forest land in the area of, I don't know what those words are, Sierra Noreste Road, west of Mount Pinos. A helicopter was utilized to transport the officers into the area due to rough terrain. No suspects were located during the operation. Approximately 1,485 mature marijuana plants with an estimated street value of $5.94 million. Boy, Kern County, California. Those cops are raking it in, aren't they? Let me check my time here. Okay, we'll do one more story. It's from MomLogic.com. A lot of stories come from MomLogic.com because they've been doing a series on marijuana. Excuse me. Okay, it's called Marijuana and Back to School. Single Mom Seeking. What if your middle school tween came home from school this week and told you that his or her friends were bringing pot to the school the next day? What would you do? Dr. Lee Klungnis and I strongly agree that this is a difficult and challenging parent dilemma, but we disagree on how to deal with it. Dr. Lee was recently quoted in Newsday as a parenting expert, and her advice hit me hard. While I always value her opinion, I'm positive I would have acted differently. Here was the question. What should a mom do if her tween son comes home and reports that he overheard two other boys bragging on the bus about how they were going to bring marijuana to camp the next day? Dr. Lee advised not to inform the adults in charge. But if your tween told you that he or she heard other kids at school bragging about bringing pot to school, what would you do? Dr. Lee said the conversation was an idle boast, assuming that the grounds are secure and supervised. How easily could these two boys sneak away and smoke pot? And if they did, surely the officials would quickly take appropriate action. In the article, Dr. Lee stressed that going to the higher-ups about an overheard bus conversation might inadvertently lead to her son getting dubbed the narc, and that unintended consequence would definitely ensure that her son would likely not confide in mom again anytime soon. Her advice, keep listening, and definitely ask your son the next day about what did or did not happen with those boys. I, on the other hand, know I would inform the adults in charge ASAP. I would feel responsible for the welfare of those other boys. Are they bragging, or are they really going to bring drugs to school camp? Are the officials really going to detect this plot if they don't get a heads up from a concerned parent? I would take action and call the camp right away. And it's good. The article goes on and says, we've been talking to other parents who agree that this is a tough challenge, and general parents have told us it's crucial to sit down and listen to your kids. But when it comes to the next step, parents disagree. Do you make the phone call or not? What would you do next? I agree with Dr. Lee. Your son or daughter or whoever will end up getting called an narc. And believe me, I haven't forgotten what school was like. School's hard enough. And she says she would feel responsible for the welfare of those other boys. I hate to point this out, but you're not responsible for the welfare of anybody else's boys unless they are put in your care. If you're a babysitter for someone else's child, then you're responsible for the welfare of that child. You've been transferred responsibility for a certain amount of time. But if your son or daughter overhears a conversation on a bus and they tell you, you are not responsible for those other children. Their parents have not transferred their responsibility to you, and the state has not, the only other people with the power to do that have not transferred the power or the responsibility for those children onto you. So, I agree with Dr. Lee. That was fairly easy. Anyway, thank you for checking out Marijuana News. I'll do these when I can. I don't know, whenever I feel like it. If I like getting on the camera and talking about Marijuana News, that's what I'll do. Stay tuned to the blog. It's awesome. I'm awesome. I'm an awesome blogger. Check it out. I'm going to smoke some more weed and get high. That's also what you should do. Peace out, bitches. I'm Joe Claire, also known as Stoner Jesus. See you next time. Woot.